When people are buying, they can't believe it's the worst thing ever, but when they're selling, it's totally fine. It goes both ways, and it is what it is.
We have a Reddit post here. Not wanting to buy in the worst time in real estate history isn't timing the market.
I brought my charts today. The industry leaders that are out there are projecting that from the year 2022 through 2027, if you buy a house for $360,000 over here, by the time we get to 227, they're saying with the market the way it is, it'll still appreciate. Affordability index. You're making more money now on paper than in the old days, ratio wise. You can actually afford to put a decent share down. You can lock that house in for 30 years. And they're showing that usually during inflationary times, houses don't go down in value, guys. Everything goes up. I mean, it's actually a great vehicle to buy in. And so when you say the worst of time, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. The worst of time, in my opinion, was back in the 80s when they were at 18% interest and people didn't know how to pump their gas because there was no gas available. Or how about when you lived out in a cave on the side of a cliff? We're living in houses with cable TV and driving cars that swerve back in the lanes. I mean, my God, this is the best time in the history of the world to be alive and buy a house.
Here's the other thing too. What happened to like maybe enjoying life too? Maybe you want a house and you want to pay for it because it's on acreage. And yeah, you might have to pay $50,000 more for it, but you want it. If they told you everything like what you had to buy for a car, you know what? You have to buy this one because you're going to be able to get money. There wouldn't be any Lamborghinis bought. And people want a Lamborghini just because they want a Lamborghini. Sometimes you don't have to think everything is about making money on a house because it's where we live. It's where you spend most of your time. And if you don't enjoy that, what the hell? What are you doing? That was me for 25 years. 25 years is like, you know what? We're not putting that porch on because I won't get the money back. And, you know, I'm just going to replace the top rail and not all the deck boards because no. It's just enjoy the dang thing.
It was about 2 weekends ago. We were out and I have a product where it's a slab on grade detached townhouse. And he comes in and he's like, man, I'm ready to retire here. I'm 65. And he goes, I want to buy one level living. I want to, you know, right size, you know, downsize, whatever you want to call it. And get into this one level living, which will be easy. He goes, but the prices, I can't afford it. And I said, you're telling me that on the stocks that you've been sitting on the last several years, you haven't doubled your money. Well, yeah, but I need that. I go, okay, your house that you live in now went up $200,000 in value and for no reason other than just the economy's booming. And I said, and then now you come and look at something that's brand new, under warranty, super efficient, and it's up 200 grand and you think it's too expensive? I go, put things into proportion, guys. Everything's going up. Trucks are $80,000 for a pickup truck. Why should a house not be $500,000, right? I mean, we're in a society where you trade things. You earn it, you make decisions, you invest into things like Chris was saying. You also live in those items. It's not like we're buying extravagant luxury items that we're just, you know, this is housing. Some people do say, oh, rent should be free or house. No, it's not. This is a risk-reward society, unfortunately, here in the U.S. Make investments in yourself with your schooling, your education, and then take advantage of different circumstances. Like you have a really good job now where you're making really good money and the market's timed right where you can afford to buy a house because the payments in your right, do it. You don't wait. Timing a market is one of the hardest things to ever do. And to time it correctly is probably almost impossible. You have to look at where do I live now? Like this guy that's 65, I go, so why don't you wait 10 years until the market changes to where you think you can afford it? I go, or you may not be needing this townhouse. Now you might be needing senior apartment or something at that point where you need assistance. So I go, why would you take the risk of ruining your next 10 years of your life over 100 grand? Because that's the whole reason why you work. That's the whole reason why you save, invest, and everything else.
Because it's everybody. Oh, you paid too much. Oh, this market's nuts. It's crazy. You know what? It's up to you. And it is true. I mean, when people are buying, they can't believe it's the worst thing ever. But when they're selling, it's totally fine. It goes both ways, and it is what it is. If you want to be able to do it, you want to be able to enjoy it, then go enjoy it. I mean, your life it's too quick. I've had a number of people that I know this last week that have died. They're not worried about no housing market and what they spent and enjoy it. Housing 2008 was an anomaly. It was because everyone was so stupid. They were just giving money away. They were paying less money, adding money to it was negative amortization. I mean, it was crazy. It just was stupid stuff. We all saw it. We all knew it. Inventory was over 6 months when everything started to go to hell. Foreclosures just took over the world and people that grew it, I'm just going to do it.
Like we say foreclosures took over the world. The reason why is because people were buying houses they couldn't afford intentionally. You know, they should have bought a $350,000 house. They were buying a $700,000 house because everything was appreciating at 12%. I literally would sit with people where they'd say, we're only buying this because we want to make 12% on 700 instead of 12% on 400.